Carter, one more time from Legacy Square. We're on the Square Deal podcast. Of course, you've met Xander down the way, and he's been employed by the city for a month, but really seasonally a couple years at this point. But we made a new hire, and he has made it 1 week on the job, so we decided to do it 2 days. As of the time of this recording. See, I plan to share this out on your 1 week anniversary.
Yeah,
I'm trusting that you're going to make it.
I'll still be here.
You and I had not met before we interviewed and hired you, but really we should have met one time. And let's get your name first of all. Who are you?
My name's Treyson Dayton.
Yeah, Treyson Dayton. My daughter, who was a 5th grader, would have known you as Mr. Dayton, which means we should have met one time at parent-teacher conferences, but apparently I didn't show up for that. So do you have anything good, bad, or otherwise that I need to know about my daughter Sydney in the classroom?
Your daughter Sydney is probably one of the smartest 5th graders there is.
Yeah. Wow.
It's honestly kind of crazy. There were times where I was wondering if I was smarter than her. So
you could just turn the classroom over to her.
Yeah. I probably could have, and it probably would have been ran better. So
classroom management needs some work. Yeah.
Well, she does like her brothers, but apparently those brothers complain a lot about stuff.
I think that might be true.
I don't know the full backstory. That I get told one side of it.
And we'll save that from the podcast. But Sydney gets her smarts from her mother, and we'll leave it at that. Tell me something about your background that qualifies you to do basic maintenance at Legacy Square. Like, tell us about your upbringing and so on.
Yeah, so I'm from a small town in Wyoming. Xander's also from Wyoming. I'm on the different part of Wyoming. I'm from the southwestern corner.
The armpit is what we call it.
Okay. All right.
There's actually a point. I'm from Cokeville, Wyoming. There's a point where Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah, they all meet at one spot. So that's where I'm from. I grew up on a ranch my whole life. I've been around equipment, long days, hot days, working for nothing because I'm on a family ranch. So it builds character is what I always got told. Well, absolutely.
You're our seasonal maintenance. We pay you a little bit.
I do get paid.
We pay you a decent hourly wage to keep Legacy Square ready for the next event. And this is a podcast where we often talk about the next event happening. And we occasionally might bring you back to the podcast studio to have fun conversations about things happening next at Legacy Square. You up for that?
Yeah, I'll be here. Whether the people want it or not, I will be here.
The people are going to tell us what they want one way or another. I'm, again, taking a giant career risk by turning the rest of this episode over to Xander. I will just sit here for my good looks. But Xander gets to ask you, Treyson, up to 5 questions.
And I don't know the questions.
Yeah, I got 5 good ones for you.
And Xander was not prepared for this half an hour ago, but he just typed in a prompt into ChatGPT. So that's another.
I'm not sure. We might have to cut that out. I'm not sure if people want to hear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Xander,
first question. You obviously are also on the Blue Hawk football team, formerly on the Blue Hawk basketball team. So I want to ask you, who's the most intense boss? Carter, Coach Selvig, or Coach Stanton?
I'm going to go with Coach Stanton. Yeah. I'm in Coach Stanton's room more, I would say. So it's probably a little bit more of an obligation. I probably just need to say that to save my face. So I don't go back in there next time, and things change for me. But I like all 3 of them. I don't have a problem with all 3. Like I said, I've known Carter for 2 days, so we'll see at the week mark.
I haven't had the opportunity at a good butt chewing.
That's
yet,
true.
If that's what's needed, I think
I
we're
feel like
good so far.
I feel like there's going to be a couple.
I've been warned. Good question.
What's one thing not many people know about you?
I played the piano for 13 years when I grew up. I did piano for 13 years. So I don't think a lot of people.
Were you good at playing piano, or could you just you could play piano by just hitting a bunch of random keys?
Well, I could read the notes, so
I
feel like I could do that. It's almost like if you ask someone if they're good at golf. I mean, I golf a lot. Doesn't mean that I'm good at it. That's how I'd answer that.
But let's follow up. First of all, you've got this over my daughter Sydney. She has only played piano for 5 years.
She's probably better than I am.
But if we stuck a piano on stage at Legacy Square and there's a crowd, and you've got to nail one song that would go over
would I have practice?
Okay, yes.
With practice.
What song are you playing?
Holy smokes! I don't even know. That's
Hot
probably
cross
some.
buns.
Yeah, it honestly would be like Yankee Doodle. I don't know.
13 years
The Saints
to
do.
get to Yankee Doodle?
Yeah, the Saints go marching.
I thought you might say like Piano Man or you
Piano
got
Man's a good
anything
one.
like
Well,
that?
I never did any of the popular stuff because I probably should have practiced more than I did.
Okay.
So it was like one of those things. Like my mom like put me in when I was in second grade, and I just didn't ask questions of why I was in there.
Okay.
So
Okay. So maybe we won't put you on stage to play pop music from the piano.
yeah, but I could play, Saints Go Marching. Yeah, throw that on there. I could probably do that.
I believe
Okay.
in you.
Well, I don't know if that's what the public is looking for, but I hijacked question number 2. Back to Xander for question number 3.
Another thing people might not know about you is you're married at the young age of 21. How did you meet your wife?
I met my wife. It was probably about a year and a half ago. She was roommates with 2 girls I went to high school with, and we kind of just went from there. We were long distance dating for I think it was a year, maybe a little bit longer. I can't remember it all, but about a year. I was in North Dakota, obviously playing football up here, and she was down in Utah. And her dad actually is the CEO of Stoats Equipment, like the John Deere stuff. So she worked at John Deere for probably about a year, and then we got married in September. So we got married like the 21st of September, and then I had knee surgery September 26th or something.
Very cool.
So.
Yeah, these are my cool, young, and hip guys. Cool, young, and hip was the saying there. But you are married. I'm trying to figure out if you're mature beyond your years, and you're 21
No.
and you're married.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's a good kid.
Good.
Don't ask my wife.
Okay. Next question. I asked the same question to Carter. I think me and you have had this conversation before. 100 men versus 1 gorilla. Who's taking it?
I am really biased the human race. I feel like we could get the job done.
I feel like
I think we could get 100 guys. I think we could coordinate, and I think we could plan something.
I think we could find 100 people just in Dickinson that could beat a gorilla.
I wouldn't go that far. I would, general, like you got your Aaron Donalds, Mike Tyson.
I'm taking 100 people from Dickinson.
You're taking 100?
100 hard-working people from the Western
Bunch
Edge.
of blue-collar guys.
Bunch of blue-collar guys. We'll take people from City Hall, too. I don't care. You probably have 100 city employees that could beat a gorilla.
And someday here, when your work is done first, I'm going to let you throw together a list of Dickinson's best 100 to save the human race from the 1 gorilla. Okay, and we might have to split off onto a different YouTube channel for that content here. But
we gotta throw a simulation. And so
we might have to.
All right, Xander, change the topic to something else. What else do you have?
Last question I have for you: if you could go back and talk to young Treyson Dayton back in Cokeville, Wyoming, what 1 piece of advice would you give him?
I would say don't be afraid to fail and jump into new opportunities. I feel like in Dickinson, I've kind of grown where I'm not afraid to fail. There's a lot of new things that I've done. Last year, I played football, tore my ACL, unfortunately, but I also taught and went to school. Like, I honestly didn't think that was possible. I just threw myself at the opportunity there, and I think I've really grown as a person through doing stuff like that. So, yeah, I would say don't be afraid to fail and just go out and try different things. You never know what you're going to like. So.
Yeah, I've got that teacher's background too, but you get up in front of young people every day and you do succeed and you do fail every day in the classroom and everywhere else too. We hope to have lots of successes down at Legacy Square this summer.
Absolutely.
We are glad you are a part of the team. Xander, you got anything else?
That's all I got for him.
Good. Okay. I think we're going to wait for a future opportunity to bring Treyson back. We hope, Dickinson, that when you see this team here at Legacy Square, you say hi to us and get to know us a little better. And we want to hear from you always on how our events are doing and what we could do better at Legacy Square. For now, we're glad you've got the chance to meet our maintenance guy down at Legacy Square, making that space the best that it can be. And we'll see you next time on the Square Deal Podcast.